Yeah, brilliant. Really, really good stuff. I know you're passionate about helping equip qualified men to ministry. You've just been speaking about that. So let's start at the beginning, Rocky. We may have some men listening who are trying to discern whether or not the Lord is calling them to ministry right now. What does that call feel like? How can a man know if this is the Lord at work?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question because you know how it is that feeling of what God has for me can be a deceptive feeling. And so for a person to try to grasp, is this really what God wants for me, is such a huge question. And I'll be honest with you, I think it's dangerous if the church, if their initial response to that desire is to fill out a recommendation and send a guy to seminary for a few years, because he doesn't have the time where people really evaluate his life, help him to be exposed to ministry, to determine whether he's really gifted for the call. And so I think today there are a lot of folks that finish their academics, and because they've done well academically and they have a certificate, they assume that's affirmation of a call. And so before they take that plunge, or the church even encourages that, I strongly believe that how they're going to know is the church leadership getting involved in their lives, helping them to understand what are the biblical qualifications. And I mean, I don't mean just Titus 1 and 1 Timothy 3. I mean, beyond to the role and the responsibilities and the accountability, the fact that they have to be able to teach, and to not know if you're able to teach and go and spend a lot of money and a lot of years preparing for something that you may not have the capacity to do, just seems tragic to me. And so I do think it begins with the man engaging with the leadership of his church, with the leadership saying, okay, we're going to take time and we're going to set you on a course. We're going to teach you how to study if you don't know that well yet. We're going to begin teaching you Bible knowledge, and we're going to begin teaching you systematic theology. We're going to help you prepare lessons. We're going to have you do them. And then we're going to evaluate those, and we're going to give you honest input. And we're going to monitor that before we ever take the next step. And if that takes months, it takes months. But to not do that first, I think it sets a man up for what could be failure. And I'm not saying it always is, but I think it's a dangerous thing if we're not careful on the front end with the man, so that at the end of the day, the leadership of the church ought to be able to say, we affirm this man's character, we affirm his giftedness, we affirm his ability to serve God's church, and we've seen it. We've seen him do it.
Yeah.